Hello YouTube land and welcome to Force In Unison Live, episode 19. I am your host, Dantes, and of course, joining me like always, Caliones. Tonight, we're gonna talk about the God of War release date. Finally, we're gonna talk about how Microsoft could be changing the industry. And most of it, we are gonna have a little bit of fun. So welcome everybody to Force In Unison Live. Thank you, the band, my favorite band in the world, the Crazy Dozen in the background. Thank you guys. How you doing, Caliones?
Hey, how you doing, Dantes? And how you doing, everybody? And yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of fun here, especially because of like a little bit of controversy that I know Dantes is gonna try to refute, but I don't know, like something's happening here with how Sony is handling things. You see, the light has gone on. I've been enlightening, and I'm gonna say what I believe is true, but we'll see what Dantes says about that.
Damage control already at the start of the show, but before we start, let's do that sweet ass rigmarole. I want to welcome everybody to the Get In. I want to welcome everybody to Force In Unison Live, episode 19, every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MS happy. Also remember, hey, we do have a Nintendo podcast that is called the Get In and Get Out Nintendo podcast every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to get that podcast for free, go to SoundCloud and iTunes. We got a deal for you. Also, we do have a Facebook page called Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, this is finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caliones. With all that said, guys, are you ready? Because we're starting the show with a band, with that of War. Caliones, what is the first news tonight? And hello, Evans. What's going on? Thank you for joining us tonight. Of course, we got more people. PSVU, Randy, Toys and More Club. The crew is in the house. But anyway, Caliones, go ahead. What's going on with that of War?
Well, before I start, I wanted to say I know that we've had one of the videos. A lot of people have been asking questions, wanted to know certain things about strategy. Right now, if you guys join in and you have any questions, please leave it on the comment sections, and we will try to do our best to go ahead and go back and answer them. I know that a lot of people, especially when it comes to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Dantes has been very busy reading through the comments, answering questions about different strategies and things like that. So if you post the questions, we will go ahead and answer them. So as far as the first piece of news is that
Hyperbeast, go ahead.
Yeah, hello Hyperbeast. And well, the first one is, of course, the main guy, the one in the front of the thumbnail, and that is the God of War. It finally gets a release date. So after the game,
finally! Oh my God! Finally! Sorry, go ahead.
So it's a little, I guess before I expected the game to come out sooner, but then after they kept showing more trailers and no release date, I thought it was going to be later, but finally it does have a release date. It's going to be on April 28th.
Woo.
But I don't know, like
No. Before you start with the whole fanboy shit, fanboy shit,
I think it's
continue with God of War, and we'll then talk about that shit. Continue with God of War. Finally, the game has a release date. It looks awesome. The story trailer, I only watched a little bit, and I already got mad because they were spoiling crap, like what Nintendo did with the Xenoblade story trailer, where they show what happened to Rex. I don't want to say in case some people haven't watched it, but the same shit is doing. Sony's doing the same crap. You guys need to stop spoiling. But April 20th, you got the regular edition, $60. If you want the collectors, $120 for a Kratos statue. Hey, dude, you go ahead. I ain't doing that crap again, what I did with Final Fantasy. I'm just going to buy the plain old regular edition. That's for me. But anyway, I'm happy that there's a release date. Sony already has a stacked lineup the first quarter of the year like they always do. Talking about January with Shadows of Colossus, who is looking with that remake. Then we have the Yakuza 6. I don't care, but if people like Yakuza, good for you, on March. And then, of course, Ni no Kuni, which I do care, and I'm going to buy it, also on March. So we already have Shadow of War, Yakuza 6, Ni no Kuni, and then God of War in the first 4 months. I'd say, Caliones, that's a pretty good lineup starting up the year already for Sony. So so they're looking good the first quarter like they always do.
And for Sony, it's fine. I mean, the way they do it, it is fine that they have their biggest, their heavy hitters in the first part of the month or first part of the year, because the second half is going to belong to the third parties, to the Call of Duties, the Battlefronts, Battlefields, those type of games. So Sony is letting the third parties breed. It's not, I guess, galvanizing the market by releasing too many good games at the same time. So that's good for them that they have them out. It worked for them last year with Neo, with Horizon, with Persona 5, with those games, and maybe not Persona 5, but Nier Automata. It did work for them out. So and they're doing the same thing again.
So it was Gravity Rush in January, Nier Automata in February, and then
yes.
March was Horizon Zero Dawn, if my memory doesn't fail me. But again, they typically do that first quarter of the year. It always looks good for Sony, but this year supposedly it's going to be all year long, right? Because we still have Detroit Become Human in the win, so we'll see where that game is going to land now. More so, I'm interested with that controversy. And then, of course, Spider-Man supposedly summer. I still need to wait and see for that one. And then, they're talking about forgot the zombie game. The title of the zombie game. Anyway, Days Gone, fourth quarter, which I think that would hurt the game, and I'm hoping that it's better off delayed next year if that's the case. But we'll see. We'll see how they stack the lineup this year. Everything seems to be falling. They also said Dreams is coming out this year. That one I don't care, so whatever. But Sony showing the games are finally coming after a long wait. They're finally, God of War is here. Anyway. But Caliones, now I'm giving you the floor to Fanboy. Go ahead, my friend. What is you wanted to talk to me about?
Well, I just it was just I guess a big coincidence. I mean, there's only 365 days in the year, and they decided to release the game on the same exact day as the Nintendo Labo is going to be releasing. So I don't know. It may sound a little bit like desperation, from Sony's part, to trying to kill Nintendo's momentum by releasing God of War on Nintendo's Labos, day. I know that you're probably gonna say, oh, they're not the same type of game or anything like that, but they're trying to overshadow Nintendo's big release. So, what do you say about that?
And I mean, really, that's
yes.
what you got.
Yeah, and I mean, we have
against God of War.
We have that.
One is for adults and the other for kids. I'm just saying. I mean,
games are games. Games are games.
Yeah. Okay. Again, one is for kids, the other one's for adults. I don't think 25-year-old is gonna go to GameStop and get a Labo. He's gonna get God of War, and I don't think a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old is gonna go to GameStop and get God of War. I'm just saying, it's two different markets. Two completely different markets.
Knowing people, I think you have it the wrong way. I think 5, 6, 10, 12-year-olds are gonna get God of War. 20, 30, 40-year-olds are going to get Labo.
I mean, it is. I mean, if you feel that way, fine. I don't see a big deal because they're really two different markets. I think that they picked that date because the game just got finished yesterday. So based on production and where that game is going to land, it just landed in those dates. It's the same as when Nintendo said that they were going to launch the Switch with Zelda 2 days, or was it 2 days or 1 week after Horizon Zero Dawn? And I thought at that point that was going to hurt Horizon Zero Dawn's sales. And Nintendo wasn't, I don't think it was caring about, oh, I'm going to land it here because I want to hurt Sony. I think that's stupid. I think Nintendo just landed there based on logistics, based on what they could ship for the Switch, based on what they felt that it was the right time to launch. I think Nintendo did it better long time ago, which was, of course, when they reduced the price of the 3DS just when the Vita was launching. So they knew that they had a competition in the handheld market, and they said, let's make sure that the Vita is gonna die. So they lowered the price just at the right moment so that 3DS could take off finally, because it was struggling at first. But what Nintendo didn't know is that they didn't have to do that, honestly. They should have just let the Vita die because of the memory cards. The expensive memory cards would have killed the Vita by itself. So honestly, Nintendo did not need to do that. But both companies sometimes do that. It is what it is. Some people could say that today Sony's made this announcement just when Microsoft announced their big announcement, which we're going to talk later. So again, it's just companies playing one up of each other. So, I mean, who cares? What matters to me, Calianos, what matters to me is that I'm going to pre-order God of War. And it's going to come in my house. And Labo is going to be right next with it. Because, you know, my son is going to play Labo and I'm going to play God of War. And the circle of life will continue properly. Where the kid plays Labo. Not the adult, Calianos. The kid plays Labo. And the adult plays daddy of war. Just daddy. Well, just call him daddy. Daddy of war.
I mean, it would probably be better if you play God of War while you're wearing the cardboard suit.
Sure. Probably that video is going to make a lot of views, possibly. So maybe that's a good idea. We'll see how it goes. But, Calianos, let's move on to the next one because it kind of falls in together. It's something I want to give props to Sony because I never get tired of giving props to Sony. Yeah. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go ahead, but we're going to come back full circle to this same conversation with another piece of news that we have. So, Bud, I'll let you breathe for now. So you can take a breather. But yes, the next piece of news is that, God of War, and this is coming from Sony. They're saying that it won't have a season pass. So it's not going to have DLC. It's not going to have any of that.
Well, we don't know about the DLC. They said season pass. So if they have a DLC, they could do like Horizon, that you have an expansion later on. But not expansion pass. Let me put it that way. Season pass.
Sorry. The only thing I would actually be fully, I'll fully support is if they have God of War and you can actually buy a Metallica T-shirt for him to use in game. For some reason it'll look appropriate.
Okay. Anyway, but just wanted to give props to Sony. You have to give them props. They're still not doing the EA way of business. Let me put it that way. I was gonna say a bad word, but they're still not doing the EA way of business. I'm sorry. I just remember that we are officially a PG channel, so I'm gonna try to keep my language down. But we have.
Well, we're PG-13 because it takes time for him to.
It's Tuesday night. Tuesday's hot. But yeah, good for Sony. They're still not doing the even my favorite game of last year or this year. I don't know where I'm playing at. Xenoblade has a season pass, which again, the game still felt complete, which I'm fine if you're gonna add some content if the game feels complete. But still, Sony saying, look, here it is. It is done. It is the game. And we don't know if they're going to do like Horizon where they did add some content later on after the game was finished. We just have to wait and see. I hope it sells. And now that there's a release date, I think it will do better. I know that it was kind of struggling God of War, admittedly, in the pre-order sales. I am concerned that a lot of people are not going to like the new I guess, vision for the game and the new gameplay style for the game without Kratos jumping and everything. One part of God of War that was really fun doing the aerial combos. So you're going to lose that. So it's going to be interesting how people accept this game. But now with a release date, I read a lot of comments, a lot of people, okay, now I'm going to pre-order. Oh, this game looks awesome. Now I'm going to pre-order. So I think releasing the story trailer today with the release date, I think was a big hit for Sony. And I don't know how it affected Microsoft's announcement, but I think Microsoft announcement was bigger, and we'll get to that when we get to the next news. But that's where I'm at with God of War. Thank you, finally, and thank you for no season pass. Thank you, Sony.
Okay, so yeah, I've been looking at the gameplay, and I was having actually a conversation this morning with Boomer, the one that joined us for the Xbox live stream, and he hadn't, he was worried about the game in certain aspects. One, have we really seen Kratos fighting with anything other than an axe? Have we seen any other weapons or anything else? Unless they showed it, I haven't really seen it. So I'm not sure if he's going to be able to use other weapons or if he's going to have the same one throughout the entire game. I believe that he won't. That he's going to have multiple weapons, but that's not something that we have seen. I know that they took away Kratos' jumping ability and they gave it to Link for Breath of the Wild. So one is missing it, the other one now has it. So that's going to be another one. And yeah, and as far as the other mechanics go, um, it doesn't. I mean, it's not the same gameplay as the old God of War games, but at the same time, if there's one game from Sony's library that deserves to be like an open world epic, it is God of War. So I'm okay with those changes. And the other thing is about his son. Like you said, Daddy of War. Is it going to be something where the kid is going to be like a kind of like a pet that you gotta watch over and care for, or
what was it? Trico. What was the game, that game called? The Last Guardian. Like the Last Guardian.
so I mean, is it gonna be something like that, or is it gonna be something like worthwhile and fulfilling by having what is it amounts to be a sidekick with you? So I mean, like again, with all the gameplay videos and things that I've seen, it seems like he's like watching over the kid, taking care of the kid, and it seems like you got to defend them. So hopefully, it's not gonna be something that gets old quick, because I'm pretty sure the game is gonna have is gonna be close to like the 20-25 hours from gameplay, and so we'll see how that portion pans out. But as far as the game goes, the game looks beautiful. The game looks like I mean, one of the AAA epic must-have titles. So as far as the changes, I'm okay with it. Hopefully they'll deliver with it. Any concerns that you have about those?
So talk about the weapons first, since you brought it up. Weapons, I'm not concerned because typically games, when they announce them, they show the other weapons later on. So I wouldn't be surprised if they have more weapons. It's just they haven't shown it to keep a little bit of mystery in the game. Right? I hate when games show too much. Hey Roger, what up, brother? What up, brother? Anyway, so yeah, so God of War. I'm not concerned about the weapons. I am concerned about the sidekick. I'm not a huge fan of sidekick games. It can be done right. I think The Last of Us did it right. So we'll have to wait and see if Santa Monica took a page of The Last of Us and they then use the same techniques. So I'm hoping that it's not bad, and I know that they also tone the conversations down with the boy too. I heard that about that. So you know what I'm saying. We'll see what happens. I'm still looking forward. The game looks beautiful. The graphics. Right now I'm showing the trailer. The graphics are a beast. They're beastie. So only on PlayStation. Come on, Calinos. You have to say that.
But before we continue, you got to do a shout out to Roger on the board.
I did. I said
yeah, but but a real one, because I mean, not only is he on the chat, but he's actually talking to us from somewhere where I mean, he's pretty preoccupied in doing things to defend our country. So yeah, shout out to Roger.
Thank you, Roger, for protecting our country. Okay, I'll salute you.
But go ahead.
No, that's it. I think we're done with God of War. Unless you want to add anything, we can move on to the next piece of news.
No. Basically, this is Sony's I guess the biggest heavy hitter for the year. So it's one that, of course, we're looking forward to. A lot of people are going to get. Hopefully, it's going to get a good reception. And like I told you before, I believe it's going to be another 90+ game when it comes to the Metacritic score.
I'll say 85. I'm feeling that 85. But I was going to say, I don't think it's the biggest exclusive this year. I think Spider-Man is a bigger exclusive, in my opinion.
Yes, but as far as Spider-Man, it's one of those that they can release anywhere. I know that before you talked about like Days Gone and those type of games. They have to be careful when they where they release those games. Spider-Man, they can drop at any time, and it's gonna sell like crazy anyways. Same with God of War.
We'll see. I'm trying to be positive. I think the game's gonna be good, but let's move on. Before a Nintendo fan starts killing me. Why so much Sony discussion tonight?
Well, and talking about Nintendo fans, we're going to be going to another piece of news where, again, I feel like Sony is little by little trying to go into Nintendo's territory. And this is with Sony's Amiibo collection. Well, actually, it's not Amiibo collection, but it is something that looks kind of like it. So you're going to have the figurines. They retail for $9.99 and are going to be GameStop exclusive. But if you've seen those figures, they do have some sort of resemblance to amiibo figures. So you have the one from Bloodborne, you have Crash, you have from Taken, God of War, Parappa, Little Big Planet, and Wipeout are the seven figures that are going to be launching. I believe there's going to be more. I heard something that it was going to be around 10 figures that was going to be the first series to launch, but I haven't really seen the other one specified which ones they will be. Aside from those, I know they don't really have the chip inside of them, so it's not used. And of course, why they're going to do it that way because as far as I know, does the PS4 have like a NFC chip reader or anything like that? It
No,
doesn't. So
it's just a figurine. I mean, it
mhm.
is. That's it. Just gonna say hi to News Tech Zone from India. Thank you for joining us tonight. So it's just a collection of statues. That's it. It doesn't have the features of the amiibos. And honestly, admittedly, the amiibos doesn't have that big of a features. And honestly, typically it's just here you scan it and it just drops a couple of items like it does with Breath of the Wild. But I think for me, amiibos is the collection is more for it's cool. Like I have my Shulk amiibo because I'm a huge fan of Xenoblade Chronicles. So you buy the stuff that you really like.
so
So
what are you going to be getting? You already seen the figures.
none,
Are there any of them?
none,
No,
though,
none.
like none, no, and really none. I mean, so they say some of the figures. So Crash is gonna be there. I think Kratos is gonna be there. I think the car from
The Wipeout.
Wipeout is there. The guy from Bloodborne is there. Uh, so yeah, that I don't remember any
Okay.
others. Oh,
You
the Little
know,
Big Planet guy. Yeah. So
so
if they
something.
would have made it, I'm sorry, before you
No,
continue,
yeah, yeah, go
before they
ahead.
made it, if they would have made the Nathan Drake, which I think was missing there, the Eloy, which I think was missing there, the Last of Us, Joel and Ellie, which is missing. So the biggest characters that Sony has, it's not in this. So it's like, really? Really? Like Sony, you're trying to sell this and you're trying to Kratos, okay, Kratos is fine. Kratos it's a good IP. But I truly believe that at this point in gaming, uh, Joel and Nathan Drake and even Eloy, I think are bigger characters right now than even Kratos. I'm sorry to say it.
Yeah.
Kratos has been dormant for many years, and we have to wait and see if this game really, takes off the new God of War. So, and then Little Big Planet, no one cares about Little Big Planet. The Wipeout car, no one cares about the Wipeout car. Crash, okay, I can see Crash. A lot of people with nostalgia buying the Crash. Yet, I I agree. Crash is hot now with last year's remake. So hey, it's all good. I'm just saying that this is not gonna. I don't think this is gonna hit out of the park. Let me put it that way. But anyway, it's just Sony dipping their toes. The same with the next piece of news. They're just dipping their toes, literally and figuratively. But, but we'll get to that one when you get there.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. Sony has bigger franchises than half of those like characters they're gonna be releasing from those games. So I mean, even a Spider-Man figure would have made more sense than any of those. So kind of like Nintendo does. So Nintendo usually releases amiibo figure to coincide with specific games that are going to be releasing. So if you have the Metroid game, you release the Metroid amiibos. You have the Smash Brothers, you release the Smash Brothers line, and so on. So that's what Sony should have done with this. I understand Kratos. So of course, the game is going to be coming out on April 20th. So that's one of those. Crash, the game's still selling pretty good. So that's another one that it makes sense for them to have. But the other ones they could have done better and made better selections. So I know you're flashing your Shulk figure. You're very proud of that one. So, but like you said, we have another piece of news here with Sony trying to make additional, I guess, promotion, and this is in conjunction with Paul George from the Oklahoma City Thunder, and it's a new line of Nike shoes, which are
PlayStation shoes.
PlayStation Nike shoes. So
This was
Sony
funny.
has.
This. Okay, keep going, Carlos. This is
No,
funny.
I was just gonna say that. So they have, Sony has their official branded Nike shoes, the PlayStation Nike shoes,
Just do it.
and and Paul George is gonna be the one that will be wearing those. Uh, so I don't know, like so far they're gonna have him over at the I guess in a PlayStation store. I'm not sure exactly if they're gonna have one over like places like Foot Locker and things like that. And as far as the price, they haven't really said exactly what price it'll be. It'll be. I'll take a quick look on there, but the shoes will be
I mean, they're
releasing.
Nike shoes. That's
Yeah,
I bet you over $100 probably. They're real Nike shoes. This is not Jack Fu shoes from Walmart or Kmart or whatever you want to call it. This is real shoes, people here. I'm just saying. You're gonna spend. If you want your Sony PlayStation, you better pony up a good amount of money. Just saying.
but they're gonna be releasing on February 10. So yeah, it's the PG2's PlayStation Nike shoes. So
you're gonna buy them. I'm guessing you, as a huge Sony fan, I'm guessing you're gonna buy them, right?
Well, I'm a huge LeBron fan, and I don't have a single LeBron shoe because I need that money to fund it into the video game side of things. So
you buy your Jack Fu shoes from Kmart.
I used to have the Charles Barkley ones when I was in high school.
You remember the old days when everybody used to wear had to wear like a shoe from your favorite player? Like I had the Penny Hardaway shoes, and everybody had to buy the Shaq shoes, the Michael Jordan shoes, the Charles Barkley shoes,
the Hakeem
shoes. Olajuwon shoes, the David Robinson shoes. Everybody had shoes. That was the good times. And then it was the only shoes you would buy for the whole year because you spend $100. You're gonna wear those shoes for the whole year. Trust me, your parents ain't buying more shoes.
Not the Charles Barkley one. Charles Barkley wear like $30.
Oh well, in your case, but in my case, when I bought the Penny Hardaways, that was it. I ain't buying any more shoes for the rest of my life. How expensive those shoes were, and now shoes are over $200. So this is crazy. But anyway, I am not buying the PlayStation shoes. Okay, well, let me see. My bro Roger saying he hasn't changed, but nowadays it's super expensive. Yes, yeah, I know, bro. That's why I don't buy those shoes. Now I'm more than happy to buy my $20, Converse shoes or something to that extent. I ain't spending. Wow. So I'm not buying the PlayStation shoes, Caliones. To clarify, I ain't buying them.
$20. Not even $20. There's like a couple of pretty good stores over here where they sell used stuff. But for the most part, it's people that have a pretty decent amount of money in this area. So you'll see a lot of new clothes and new shoes. And I usually get mine, for anywhere in between $3 to $5. I don't need anything else. I'm not trying to go to the dance club and dance it out or something where I'm not going to be running away from people where I need, good souls to not slip and fall. So I just need something where I'm going to have a cushion in between myself and the ground outside. So that's enough for me.
Okay, that's fine. Dude, it's all good. I'm happy. If you're a huge Sony fan, hey, go for it. Go for it. It's a good promotion for Sony. Sony's getting into everything. Soon we're going to have a PlayStation underwear. I don't know.
Sony needs that money. Sony's trying to fight off Nintendo, so they're doing everything they can.
Fight off Nintendo. Anyway, go to the next one. What's the next one, Caliones?
Well, surprisingly, the next one is actually not a Nintendo or Sony.
Woo! Hey, I'm going to have a lot to talk. I'm going to have to give props where props are due, even though it pains me to do it. But go ahead, Caliones.
Okay, so for those of you that are not familiar, Microsoft they have the Game Pass program over in the Xbox. Basically, you pay I believe the first month it's free or $1, but you pay $9.99 per month, and you have over 100 games.
Are we
Xbox
having
games.
An issue on the chat? I mean, I got Butterfly Super Tuber asking forgiveness for Jenny. This is okay, Kylie? Are you okay with this? I'm just saying. Do you need to kick someone's ass?
No. He is, I guess, the old Pokemon and I guess a master. So he's from the old channel. I left a video over at the Toys More Club channel, so they know that Toys More Club has migrated over to ours. So it's nice to start getting their the crowd from over there back over here. So hey, Jacob, welcome to the chat. Nice to have you over here.
Okay, so I'll drop it. Just saying, just have to watch out. Do you need me to get you the shotgun? I do have a nice shotgun from the on the side here of the house. You want me to get you the shotgun?
Well, and if everybody's listening, it sounds like Dantes is trying to, run away from talking about the Microsoft news on here, and trying to create distraction because he doesn't want to talk about Microsoft.
Okay, the floor is yours. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, so Microsoft has the Xbox Game Pass program. Game Pass program is $9.99 a month, and you have a selection of over 100 games that you can download, play. You can download another one, play it as well, and you can do that over and over again for the 30-day period, 31-day period for the month. The next month comes in again, $9.99, and you can continue to do that. But what they're going to be doing now, and this is for new Xbox exclusive. So games that are going to be exclusive to the Xbox, and it is that those games will be available to download on the first day that they become available. So instead of something like EA Access, for example, that you get the Maddens, the FIFA, Battlefront, and those type of games, and you have to wait months until they become available. Not with this one. First
so
party.
Clarify Microsoft games, not third-party
Yes.
games, just Microsoft games to clarify.
Yeah, but it says new exclusive Xbox games.
Exclusives. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Microsoft games.
Yeah,
They're only, well, if you call those exclusives, but they're only games that they get. The two games that they get the whole year for exclusives, you're gonna get them first on on Game Pass. But keep going, Cañones.
But I mean, so yeah, the first game that will become available is the game from from the ex Rare developer, Sea of Thieves. I know you keep making fun of the game, but I actually do like the game. The game looks fun. I'm
Exactly,
ready to
Roger.
try it
Like
out.
one exclusive, so you get one exclusive the whole year. Woo,
So,
Game Pass.
And the next one, so of course, Crackdown 3 is going to be coming out this year. State of Decay 2 will be coming out. You're probably going to get games like Forza. They may have a new Halo this year, so we'll have to see about that. But yeah,
I think so.
I do understand that.
Joking aside, keep going. But
Yeah. I do understand that. Yes, they don't really release that many exclusives for this to like for some people to feel like it is big news. But I mean, to me it is. So I'm glad that they're doing it. Hopefully they're going to continue to garner a big crowd. So we'll see what it does. So anything else you want to say about this?
So okay, joking aside. Okay, so even though again they get like one exclusive the whole year, but joking aside, it's still a good value. So what I mean with that, Microsoft is trying to do. Microsoft knows they're not gonna win the console war anytime soon. I don't think ever. They never won a generation, and I don't think they're gonna win it. They're not a global brand for video games. Nintendo and Sony are, where Microsoft is not. But Microsoft could become the next Netflix in video games. Microsoft could outdone Sony in Sony's original plan, because I think Sony's streaming service, the whole point was to become the next Netflix. But Microsoft, give them credit what credit's due, was smarter, and they said, streaming sucks. Who's gonna do streaming? Streaming is still not there. You can download the game directly to your console, so there's no lagging between what you play the game and the service. So they say, oh, you got 100 games. So how the program works, to clarify, don't think that even if they put the exclusives the first day, you're going to have them forever. They rotate games out of the 100 games that they offer you for that month. But still, for the price, $9.99, you can download any game you want, play it for that month, and if that game is going to go out for that month, you just know that you need to beat the game before the game leaves for the month. But still, they're doing Netflix right. But in this way, Netflix is still streaming. Microsoft is saying, I know that in video games, streaming is not there. So I want to let you download the game directly to your hardware and hard drive, and you play it. And Sony's like, damn, I hate you guys, because it just destroyed the need for PS Now. It's just, I think that investment really hurting Sony right now, because they spent a lot of money on that. And they messed up. They thought that the gaming was going to go there. Sony needed to understand that we're still not there yet, and not anytime soon you can download that much data. So anyway, it's not there. Microsoft did it smart. Microsoft took the crown with this. And again, the biggest hit that this could end up with is GameStop. Is GameStop happy about this? I don't think GameStop is happy, saying, oh, so you're putting your exclusives, the only games that you could probably sell really well the first couple of weeks, on the Xbox Game Pass program now? GameStop should be livid right now. GameStop is probably like, I hate you guys. I could see this starting some friction where remember when the Xbox One was announced and they said that they had the DRM and all that stuff that it was coming? You know, that GameStop was even against Microsoft and they did some campaign against Microsoft. I could foresee this heading that way where GameStop's going to try to survive, because I could foresee Sony, honestly, mimicking this program at some point, saying, look, PS Now sucks. Let's do what Microsoft's doing. We can't let Microsoft takes the Netflix pie completely. Same with Nintendo. Nintendo could say, oh, no, wait. This is something that we need to look into and see if we can start doing it too. And then you're going to have 3 competing platforms. You know, you're going to have your Hulu, your Netflix, and your Roku, whatever you want to say is the third one, competing. And that's what is going to happen. And that could hurt completely GameStop, because then third parties, oh, let's just stream it. Give me a licensing fee. It's better. We don't have to worry about manufacturing the disc and all that stuff that we have to do, promote. We just do it like Netflix. Could work. Can't work. I don't know. We'll see what it goes. But this is the first step. And this is the first step. Microsoft is leading the way on something that could end up they taking a good pie of the gaming industry. So any thoughts of my rant? Just gave him props.
Well,
to the props to the chat that says I always hate on Microsoft. I just gave him props. Give me a break. Go ahead, Cardenas.
Well, I'll say like GameStop. You could probably say that they are on borrowed time. I mean, if you've been going over to the stores lately, they have a bunch of T-shirts, a bunch of toys, a bunch of collector's items. So they're trying to divert even cell phones. So they're even trying to sell cell phones and tablets and stuff. So they're trying to diversify themselves, because they know that at some point people are going to stop buying physical games and they're going to go fully digital. So that's going to be one thing that's eventually going to happen.
Please, no. Look at my background. Yeah. I like it. It's so beautiful. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, probably not Nintendo, but I mean, they're not going to be able to live off just Nintendo games. So at some point, it's all going to be about Amazon and Best Buy, because you got the bigger discounts on there. I'm pretty sure Walmart is pretty close to having one of those like 20% discount promotion and things like that. So I can see them doing it in the not so distant future. But as far as GameStop, they were going to have a good promotion last year, if you remember, where it was going to be, I think, $60, and for 6 months you could borrow any.
Oh yeah, I remember that. But they stopped it. They canceled that program.
They stopped it like a week before it was supposed to start. So that was probably going to be something good for them to try to compete with things like this. But they decided not to do it. So I mean, eventually GameStop is going to cease to exist, and we're either going to have like mom and pops type stores, and then the bigger chains. But
yeah, Best Buy should kill with the Best Buy Gamers program. Yes. I don't think you need to buy from GameStop. I stopped completely buying from GameStop, and only I should if there's something I would reserve would be maybe the console, because it's the only thing that I don't want to risk it. And when the Switch came out, I reserved one in GameStop and one in Best Buy just to make sure that I would get my ample Nintendo Switch needs. So my point to that is that games, I don't buy them. Why would you buy on GameStop where they're so expensive? And then they sell you the used game. This is crazy, Carlos. They sell you the used game at the same cost.
$5 less.
At the same cost that it would be you just using the Best Buy's Gamer Club for a new game, because you get 20% off. If you guys don't know out there, you get 20% off for any new games.
Well, actually, with the Best Buy discount, it actually turns out to be better than buying than buying used games over at GameStop when it comes to the new releases. But I mean, it's like I said, I think GameStop is on borrowed time. So at some point, the company, unless they change somehow, they're going to cease to exist. But something that irks me real bad is that how are you able to get discounts on games that are physical, but digital games that is pure profit? They're not spending anything on them. There's no cases, there's no box art, there's no shipping costs, costs about like stocking them or anything, and you cannot get a discount on them. So that's something that I still don't understand.
Yeah, I agree.
And until that happens, until you can finally get discounts on those games, you're not really gonna see most of the games being bought as digital instead of physical. So that's once they do that, that's when you're gonna see probably the full turnaround, about maybe 70 or 80% of the games being bought digital, and about 20, 25, 30 being bought as physical. About the I guess the Game Pass from Xbox and Sony and Nintendo, I believe if somebody can fight it off pretty good, it's going to be Nintendo, because They have 30 plus years worth of games that they can have used in their library. I mean, their Nintendo games, arcade games before the Nintendo, those still sell pretty good, and they're gonna be worth having around for something like that. So I believe Nintendo would be better off. So Sony could still do it, but for some reason Sony doesn't want you to have your to be able to play your old PS2 games, PS1 games, and those. They want they want to force you to buy them again.
No, they got a way. It's called PS Now, which just sucks. That's the pure truth about it. You go PS Now, you want to play all those games, pay whatever it is. I don't know if it's $20 a month or whatever it is. But then the streaming, I mean, that depends on your internet quality. I don't know. I'd like to play it from the disc or from the hard drive, because today's days you just put the disc and it just downloads to the hard drive of the console. So anyway, Sony has a solution. It's just that they put the money on the wrong horse. Let me put it that way. And Microsoft was too smart. I have to give them credit. Microsoft said streaming sucks. Just, hey, we got the program. Just download it straight to your hard drive. And after the month ends, delete it, and you're done with the game. And you continue to your next game, right? So.
Yeah, but that's I guess that's how it goes. Like last generation, Sony put their money on the Blu-ray. Microsoft put it on the HD DVD. Sony ended up winning that one. This one is probably coming the other way when it comes to to the Game Passes and things like that. Microsoft is ahead on that one, but we'll see how it turns out at the end. Because I know if this takes off, Sony's going to do the same. They have a pretty,
like you said, Nintendo has a huge catalog. They're going to do it. So
yeah. I mean, Sony and Nintendo, they have an extremely big library of games that they can kind of offset Microsoft momentum when it comes to those. But if do you wanna say anything else, or move on to the next one?
We're good to go. Let's go. Okay. Let's go.
Okay, and this one, we're going back to Nintendo, and I want to get your opinion on this. So, Xenoblade Chronicles
estimates.
2,
They're estimates to clarify, but keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, it has sold an estimate of 437,000 copies in the first week of retail. This is retail. This is not digital downloads. It's physical. And like you said on one of the previous podcasts, for like 2 straight weeks, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was the number one downloaded game on the eShop. So we know that it's been selling pretty good when it comes to the digital downloads. But physical, 437,000 on the first week. What do you say to them?
Again, their estimates. The reason I put this one in because they're rumors, and I love Xenoblade Chronicles, of course, but they're rumors. They're BG charts. Let me clarify. That's where this is coming from. BG charts just do estimates. The reason I wanted to put it in is a lot of people are saying that is it sold really bad or whatever, X, Y, and Z. I think those numbers fall in line with what I would expect for this niche. This is a niche game. I think it will get to 1 million. I think it will end up selling more than they are both Xenoblade and Xenoblade Chronicles X. But if you put Xenoblade Chronicles original and the 3DS version, now you're talking 1.5 million units sold. I don't know if they can reach the 1.5. But as a standalone release, I think they're going to end up selling the most. I mean, 437,000 the first week in retail. I think that's pretty good numbers for, again, a niche game. We have to clarify it's a niche game. And I think Japan is going to help push a little bit. Japan is doing really well. I think, again, Europe, they really good numbers from Europe. And then having that voice cast being more European, I think helps. And, of course, U.S. has always been the bigger country for Xenoblade Chronicles. I expect U.S. to keep selling. It's just I don't know if the game's going to have legs because it has like 2 extremes. You either love the game or you really hate the game. So I don't know if they have like the nice momentum like Chronicles 1 had. And Chronicles 1, to clarify, a lot of people don't know this. Chronicles 1 would have sold easily 2 million. The problem is that was one of the most pirated games on the Wii because our buddy Nintendo could not make their mind up if they were bringing the game over.
Nintendo of America.
Nintendo of America, you clarified. A lot of people pirated the game from Nintendo Europe and played it in the America consoles, and that happened. There were people in the forum saying, "I'm playing this game. I'm getting it. I'm gonna pirate the game," and a lot of people pirated the game, and there was a lot of people who pirated the game because Nintendo of America couldn't make their damn mind, and even with that, almost got to 1 million sold, even with all that. So I truly believe the original, the Chronicles 1 was so special that we would have made it a 2 million sold because they had a strong word of mouth, strong critical reception, and then it just happens that Nintendo America just dropped the ball and just couldn't make the damn mind. It was already localized. They didn't need to do anything. Just bring the European version. A lot of people pirated the game, pure and simple, and I don't blame them. I don't blame them, honestly.
And it was at a time where, like, JRPGs, you really didn't have that many good JRPGs out there. Even the Final Fantasy games, they weren't at the top of their games. It was more like the Final Fantasy 13 and those types. So the JRPG market was suffering. It wasn't doing as good. And then comes along this game as one highly rated, great reception in Japan, in Europe, and somehow they decide not to bring it over here. At least for I don't know, like over a year or so that it took for for it to finally come over.
And the funny part is that Nintendo America doing that just doesn't make sense, because Satoru Iwata was one of the reasons why Nintendo bought Monolith Soft. And I was reading the history of Monolith Soft the other day. I showed you some pieces of news. I'm a big fan of the company, so I wanted to see the history and read it. And the history, the reason Nintendo bought it is when they talked to Takahashi and the team over there, they like their free thinking. They like how they treat their employees. They like how they let the young employees become up. So to clarify, even though we give a lot of credit to Takahashi, Takahashi is only executive director. He's just guiding the team. He's not the director of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Xenoblade Chronicles X, or Xenoblade Chronicles 2. He lets his young team come up, and then he just guides them through the process. Admittedly, Takahashi still writes the script. So if you want to say, okay, Takahashi is still involved in the script writing because he likes the story of all those games, okay, that's fine. But the battle system, how the world looks and everything, that's still the young developers, right? So that's the reason why Nintendo said, I want this company as a... And to clarify, this is why the disrespect of Nintendo America, and they need to learn not ever to do that to Monolith Soft again. Monolith Soft is divided in two branches, and there's one branch who the only job is dedicated into work on Nintendo games. You guys know that Monolith Soft supported Breath of the Wild? Yes, they did. Do you know that Monolith Soft supported Smash Bros? Yes, they did. So Monolith Soft handles... Zelda Skyward Sword? Yes, they did. So Monolith Soft supports and handles a lot of the work that Nintendo needs to complete those masterpieces. So they got some footprint in all those masterpieces that you guys love and enjoy. You know that Monolith Soft was the one who helped develop the open world because they were the only team that had experience with open world with Xenoblade Chronicles X. A lot of people doesn't know that. And that's why I know I'm doing a rant right now, but I'm kind of offended how Xenoblade Chronicles, the original, got a little bit treated by Nintendo of America. So I'm hoping that that never, ever happens again. If Monolith Soft brings a game, if it's a new IP, you better be bringing that game here in North America. I never want to hear the BS that happened with Chronicles 1. Anyway, rant is over. Sorry about that, guys.
Well, and that's the other thing. Whenever they finally decide, to bring the game over to the U.S., they did it on limited quantities. So
I heard the game too. Yeah.
I also heard the game because a lot of people wanted to buy it, and instead, what they were doing is buying the game, reselling it for a profit, and taking advantage of those that really wanted to get the game. Because I think the first one was something close to like 250,000 copies or something like that. So again, they weren't full in for some reason. Even though the Wii needed games, he needed games at that point. It had been close to a year or so where the Wii wasn't getting any other games, and that was close to the to when Skyward Sword finally ended up releasing. So it had a long drought, and they could have used that game earlier in its life. But yeah, I mean either way. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it seems like it's going to sell upwards of 1 million, 1.5. It should end up as the best-selling Xenogears or Xenoblade game ever among all the other titles. And even though, like you said, they do help Nintendo with a lot of other games, hopefully they continue to have that respect so they can continue to create their games, to share their vision and continue moving forward. So it is one of the treasure developers for Nintendo.
One last fact in honor of Satoru Iwata, because he even though I know a lot of people at the end with the Wii U blame him, he also did a lot of good stuff with the Wii and the 3DS and stuff like that. So you have to give the man credit where credit's due. You know that Satoru Iwata says to Takahashi, the original game was called Monado, the End of the World. He's the one asked to change the name to Xenoblade in honor of Takahashi and the work that it was done in the past to add Xeno to the title because of the good work that Iwata feels about the game and how he feels. One of the biggest supporters of Monolith was Satoru Iwata. So if he sees something in that company, there's a reason for it. And you have to give him credit. They pump out two Xenoblade Chronicles games in less than 4 years. They release, from Xenoblade Chronicles X to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. How many Squaresoft games Final Fantasy has released in that period of time, Caliones? Just tell me. One. and Final Fantasy Remake, we're going to touch base pretty soon. Yeah, I expect that game in 2040. Anyway, Caliones, let's go to the next piece of news.
Okay, and the next one, it is indeed about Square Enix and Final Fantasy. They have, finally had some more information about Final Fantasy VII, and the information came out as just having screens, like screenshots of the game and how it's looking. So basically just giving us a glimpse of the development of the game. No videos, nothing like that. It was just screenshots. So at least, I guess they showed something. So it's got to count for something, right?
Anyway, so I'm going to say this. I'm hoping Sony learned from that. I'd never show a Squaresoft game on E3. Please don't. I don't want to see a single Squaresoft game unless the game is like 2 months before release, please. I don't want to see another Squaresoft game on a E3. It doesn't matter if it's Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo. Really don't. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. So, the only thing I'm going to say is it's been how many years since they showed that trailer, Caliones? It was 2014, right?
It's got to be like almost 4 years or close to it. And
they're still showing what? They're still showing images of not screenshots of even the gameplay, screenshots of artwork.
Well, it was kind of like a PowerPoint presentation where they have like screenshots, displayed there, and they just took a picture of it. So that was it.
You know, since Roger is here, Roger, I know you're a big Kingdom Hearts fan. If they release Kingdom Hearts, I'll still be surprised. Right now, just release the damn game. Just release the damn game. It's just Square.
Oh,
it's just.
He's saying we'll see it on 2025.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3. We're gonna see it. Supposedly it's this year. Anyway, any more news, Caliones? I'm done tonight. This Square just made me mad, so I'm done. Any other news?
Yeah, we're done. For the day. Unless we want to continue taking shots at Sony, so I'm all for it. If you want to, we can continue that portion of it.
Yeah, I'll give one more shot. Sony better not show more games that takes like 20 years to come. No more. The Last Guardian. No more Final Fantasy VII, because when they show Final Fantasy VII in that trailer, I was like, oh my God, Final Fantasy VII remake. Oh. Yeah, it's 2018.
Well,
yeah.
Or when they announced Final Fantasy VII coming out for the PC, and it turned out to be the original place.
Well, that was the greatest troll move in the world. That one I'm gonna give Sony. That was awesome. That was the best thing ever. How the people disappointment in their faces show when they show that it was a PC version of Final Fantasy VII. Dude, that was the greatest thing ever. Yeah. Anyway, we're done. Anyway, the band, the Crazy Seven, take us away. Yeah! I want to thank everybody for joining us tonight at Force In Unison Live, episode 19, right here at the Force In Unison Gaming channel. Please remember to subscribe, like, and comment so you can make these two crazy MS happy. Also remember, we do have a Nintendo podcast called the Get In and Get Out Nintendo Podcast every Saturday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to get that podcast, go to SoundCloud and iTunes so you can download it for free. Also, we do have they're calling me for work just in time. Let me finish this rigmarole quick. Also, hey, we do have a Facebook page called @Force In Unison Gaming. And finally, and Dantes says finally, go to chiguerosnews.com and give some clicks and love to my boy Caliones. With all that said, this has been Dantes and this has been Caliones. Good night, everybody. Thank you.